What's the talk after the That's the thing, hey, like.
Watching from you?
Yeah.
All good? Cameras level? That way. Oh, okay. More? Bit more? That's good? Okay. Thank you.
Probably not a bad thing that will happen. Yeah, I know it was average radar.
Or the radar though.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Still is. I'm going to wait for the you guys want to do it early on.
Hello, testing 1 2 1 2. Hello, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Beautiful. Tom, can you switch to camera 3 for me, please? Yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. No, love it.
Sorry? I got a couple here. On the table. 5 cans. better one.
That's all. Just there, mate.
Okay, thank you.
Match ball. Thanks. Good. Yeah, I have to pay.
Right there. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the test broadcast. Just doing our mic checks before the great B pattern gets here. It's a nice cool day here. Players warming up. It's not raining at all now, so I'd say they'll all be enjoying that. Balcony is there's not a lot of people on there. Got the players, and what I might do is give everyone a view of the balcony. And that is who's here. We've got the Downey boys just loitering, talking upon Div 1 players, D Bentel. Everyone wearing their masks. Always play by the rules here at Alexander Park. Rain is definitely coming, so I'm hoping that'll steer clear of us and we can get a good day of tennis in. And so stay with us. We'll have some tennis live real soon. This is live, and yes, we'll be back. Stay there. Stay tuned.
Sorry, man. Sorry. You want more? Sorry. Oh, yeah. Good ball.
Oh, sorry, you giving me the ball. Yeah. Oh, no, I served two games to get on the ball.
What is that?
Hey, here you go.
Let's let 5K style. I intend to start at 1 o'clock unless it rains.
Oh, there. All right. Not bad? That one. Good off.
So you can do it. You can do it. You want to get that? Run with it. Okay.
I'll talk to you now.
Swap. That was a good art. I'm pretty happy with that.
Big Dan, Big Dan, Big Dan, two Big Dans.
Yes, we've
Just
got a plethora of dance.
there's too many Dans. We're players loosening up. Dan Downey, you're not loosening up. What's all that about?
I loosened up ages ago. Just waiting to go on. I'll be out there in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no, good call. Got to save your energy. You boys were here nice and early too. Ready for the broadcast, clearly.
Yeah, I'm always ready. Anyway, way to go.
All right, mate, go get him. Good luck. So Dan's going out there. Dan playing at 2 today with Ashton at 1, Dan 2, Jerome at 3, and Alex at 4.
Sorry, say again?
Yeah.
I think it's Will and Dan. Me, Dan, Jerome, Alex. Scott, Will, Scotty, Luca. Scorecards over there on that bench. Just do one more round.
I've just got Dan Bentle racing to the scorecard to see what Cott's order will be. I'm guessing it'll be Scotty Jones at 1, Will Hahn at 2. Yes, so Scotty Jones at 1, Will Hahn at 2, Luca Brown at 3, and Adam Kahane at 4. Doubles unknown yet. We might throw D Bentle in for a bit of doubles action. What do you think, Dan?
I always love a good tennis match. Oh, Matt Perry here as well.
The Div 1 guys are rolling up. They've aborted their day today. Quite happy to split the points, the Div 1 guys.
Take a hard-fought draw with Peppy.
Well, it's always hard fought with Peppy, as per last weekend with the State League boys just getting up. And the Div 1 boys happy to split it and come here and watch the State League and be reserves. So that's pretty good.
Invite me to a party.
Dan, where's the water fountain?
Other side.
Go through there. On the left. That's all
Bit hard under all the wind. Every time my patients see me in the street and they look at me and they put a work on the way out, and then I cover up and they go, oh, no, I know who you are. And they look at me, oh, no, I know who you are. Your mum and sister coming down today? Yeah. I didn't realise you had another sister. Yeah. I bet she is. You obviously got and I have all correlation, what's her name? I don't like Susan. She's just got the natural talent.
Who's the first round back?
Yeah.
It's a shame you never asked for home team. Due to social We're Willie's end, isn't it?
Oh.
Does anyone Yeah, you know,
I can take it.
Yeah, put in the top.
Do you want me to take it actually?
There you go. Yeah, walk on. Yeah.
No, that's Alexander Drive. Hey, Brian, So yeah, the algae wood, near the algae wood is there.
game over there the other day. He certainly did.
Yeah, good couple of games.
I didn't watch it like second set he really got kicked out. He had a couple of set points.
He was serving for the set.
3 or 4 was tiebreak.
He was serving for the set at
5-4. He did a conjure, did he?
Yeah.
Not that Harry didn't play bad, but he did so well. That's 4 points. So good. Like tattoo and whole sleeve now. Sleeve full.
You know what I think of that every time I see it? I feel like there's a big bar of soap and a Scotty Jones.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Don't think they're fast. That's what they did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Well, I did, but I left at about what, 10:45. How long did you guys stay? Oh wow. Hey Scott.
Yeah, I like the green, but that is different.
Crazy, hey. So lucky.
Good afternoon and welcome to Scotty's Media. We're broadcasting round 11 of the WA Men's State League competition. Again, Alexander Park, the leafy suburb of Manoora. My name is Brett Patton, part of the Court Talk commentary team. Been broadcasting the WA State League for the better part of the last 7 weeks, men's and women's. Trying to shine the spotlight all over the great talent that we have in WA men's and women's competition. Looking forward to bringing you today's play between Cottesloe Tennis Club and Alexander Park Tennis Club. Of course, big day's play, and the names of the players that will be playing for Cottesloe in today's matchup will be Scotty Jones sitting at number 1 position, followed by William Hahn in number 2, Luca Brown in 3rd spot, and Adam Kahan sitting in their number 4th spot for Cottesloe. And the Alexander Park team, Ashwin Sharma sitting in the number 1 position, followed by Dan Downey, Jerome O'Connor, the captain of Alexander Park Tennis Club, sitting in the number 3 position, and Alex Downey coming in at the number 4 position. Alex Downey, former player of the WA Men's State League competition, yet to lose a singles match over the last 10 rounds. And today he's coming up against Adam Kahan in the number 4 position. Looking forward to bringing you all today's play, as well as all the matches across the men's and women's state league. A little bit of cloud around today, a little bit overcast. We're looking forward to getting through, hopefully, today's play. Adam Kahan serving far end in the blue shirt from Cottesloe Tennis Club. Closest to the camera, Alex Downey, as we just made mention, having a standout season for Alexander Park. I've been corrected. He's lost 1 match over the last 10 rounds in singles. Been a form player, has won a state league before from Osmond Park 3 seasons ago. And would be fancied and the favourite in this match against Adam Kahan from Cottesloe Tennis Club. Adam serving, left-hander. Furthest from the camera, Cottesloe in the blue shirts with the white shorts. Alexander Park, white shirt, white shorts. Beautiful cross-court backhand, good depth. Looks to be a tricky left-hander, Adam Kahan. Both players predominantly stay at the back of the court, hone their craft. Other matches being played today in the men's state league. Dalkeith Tennis Club come up against Hensman Park at Dalkeith. Peppermint Grove playing UWA at Peppermint Grove. Good opening serve from Adam. So we skip across to the top court. Dan Downey, closest to the camera from Alexander Park. Coming up against the very talented Will Hahn, another lefty in the Cottesloe team. Serving, furthest from the camera. Ball just sliding through. Grass a little bit dewy. Took a little bit of rainfall earlier today. Forecast is for rain, in between 5 and 10 mil, according to the bomb. Beautiful sliding serve, Will Hahn. Second serve ace. Dan Downey, closer to the camera. Alexander Park, unmistakable. Has the Downey name plastered across the back of the shirt, wearing the hat backwards. That's his trademark, a la Leighton Hewitt. Another big serve down the tee for Will Hahn, coming out smoking early stages of this first game, the first set. All singles matches, best of 3 sets. Third set will be a super tiebreaker, which is first to 10 points. Strong serve again from Will Hahn, holding opening game of this first game. Alex Downey, Adam Kahan. Nice serve down the tee, swinging away from the left-hander in Kahan. Ball skidding through. Again, a little bit of moisture early on these courts. Beautiful cross-court chip backhand. Adam Kahan. Where did that come from? Lovely touch. Scotty Jones walking past, one of the superstars of the Cottesloe Tennis Club. On a real tear, Scotty Jones winning a number of UTR events post the State League season. Coming into today's match against Ashwin Sharma in really good form. Jerome O'Coney, captain of Alexander Park State League team, joining me in the commentary booth. talk to Jerome shortly.
Love the mic.
Beautifully played backcourt. You might want to take a seat, Jerome. Let's just talk a little bit about Adam Kahan from Cottesloe. I don't know too much about Adam. Looks a lively left-hander at this stage. Got off to a pretty of a flying start. What do you know about Adam?
Played him a few times. He's a tricky left-hander. Yeah, but personally, when I play him, I think my game style matches up well with the flat backhand to the forehand. I think that's what Alex has to do today. Penetrate his forehand wing a bit more, so.
Is he a Perth born and bred, Adam Kahan?
I think he is. You should know all this. All these facts.
I don't know too much about Adam, but I'll get to learn a little bit more as the day unfolds, no doubt about that, Jerome. What are you expecting from your match today? You're coming up against a strong opponent, and your form has, rightfully so, been a little bit rocky because of a few injuries. Starting to play some good tennis. You defeated the journeyman and Troy Hargraves, former Australian over 35s winner, singles winner of a couple of seasons ago. So you're pretty happy, pretty comfortable with your form leading into today's match?
Yeah, definitely. Well, last week had to make the big decision to kick the inform of the competition player, which is Alex Downey. He's only lost one match, and I said, "Sorry, mate, I'm feeling good." It's a
tough call. It's a tough call to make. You're the captain, obviously, of the Alexander Park team, but your form player and Alex Downey. How's those decisions made, Jerome? I mean, is it a committee decision? Is it a team decision, or you just go out on your own?
It's just me, BP. The big captain makes the calls. You know how it is, the big shots. It's a bit like you. When you were captain, you never dropped yourself. Isn't that right?
I certainly consulted everyone around me rather than making a solo decision, Jerome. That's called leadership, my friend. Something that you'll grow into, no doubt about that.
Exactly.
Watching Kahan and Alex Downey out here on serve, one game apiece. What are you expecting from the match between Dan Downey and Will Hahn? We saw Will playing some terrific tennis, another wonderful talent coming out of the stables of Cottesloe. What can you tell us about William and Dan's match today?
Well, I think Dan's game will match up well, as you saw just then. Nice winner from Dan. I think if Dan can mix it up, keep the ball low to Will's forehand wing, he'll do really well today. So, yeah, got high hopes.
A bit of dew around out there, obviously, a little bit of moisture from today's play. So I'm expecting that, there'll be a lot more aggressive nature of the game today. A lot more players wanting to push forward and take the ball in the volley rather than letting the ball hit the ground and skid. I mean, are you considering, you traditionally will stay back, but are you considering sort of changing your tactics around to be a little bit more aggressive moving forward?
Yeah, definitely try and be as aggressive as possible. Get on top of the points early, similar to last week against Troy, and that worked really well. Just go for it. That's the game plan.
Talking to Jerome O'Connor, the Alexander Park State League men's captain. Lucky for Alexander Park that COVID struck. Jerome's meant to be playing over in the US at the moment at college and accepted on a scholarship. And no doubt you'll be heading there later in the year, Jerome, but we're fortunate to have you in the State League competition and playing for Alexander Park. Currently sitting in 4th position, knocking on finals, a few more rounds before the finals. I mean, how do you see your team shaping up for the finals? Of course, Matty Ebden is not playing. Will you see Matty Ebden towards the latter stages of the regular season and potentially into the finals?
No, I don't think we'll see definitely Harry or Ed at the moment. Ebden in the finals, but possibly Harry. Ed, the older brother of Harry.
Of course, both Bouchier brothers have played for Alexander Park over the last couple of seasons, and we saw Harry come up against the one and only Nick Kyrgios at the number 1 Melbourne tournament lead up into the Australian Open. And did you watch that match, and how did you think Harry played in that match against Kyrgios?
Yeah, I watched a bit of it. It was exciting to see our own player, my teammate, on TV against one of the biggest names in tennis, so, and had 4 set points, did really well. Texted him before and after the game. Harry texted me saying he was going to chop Kyrgios for me because he knows that I love him. And I told him it's the only time I'm not going for Kyrgios, this time. But no, he did super well. He did us proud, No
doubt about that, as we're watching Will Hahn closest to the camera, just toweling down up against Dan Downey, furthest from the camera, hat back to front, a la Leighton Hewitt.
Do you think the rain's going to hold up, BP, today?
In my experience, if there's a smell of rain around, rain will come at some stage, I would imagine, Jerome. And playing on grass too, it'll make playing and finishing this tie a little bit tricky if we do see any rain. Hopefully the rain will stay away. Beautiful big serve. Will's really come out smoking. First couple of service games, hitting a lot of big serves, first and second. Will Hahn, of course, his brother
Tom played for Peppermint last week.
Tom Hahn plays for Peppermint Grove. Beautiful lob. Covered the court nicely, Will. Beautifully constructed point, overplaying the forehand down the line, Downey. Good court coverage from Will. Both good athletes, Will and Dan, out here, putting on a real display in the first few games of the opening set. What are you expecting from the Australian Open? We saw Serena Williams pull out of her semi-final against Ash Barty.
Yeah, why was that?
There's a number of
Mummy
theories
issues.
going out there. I think that she didn't want to give Ash a look at her pre the tournament. I think she goes into the Australian Open. If you're playing Serena in an Australian Open or any Grand Slam, she likes to intimidate her opponents. And I think if you play her in a lead-up event and you get a win over Serena, she doesn't have that air of invincibility when you do play her at a Grand Slam. So I think it's all tactical. I don't think there's anything wrong with her.
Yeah.
We saw that against Collins, a countrywoman, in the quarter-final match in 3 sets. And I think she's just playing a little bit of mind games at the moment, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Watching Will Hahn serving.
Big serve.
Beautiful return to deep.
See, that's that forehand wing that Dan has to hit to as well. So 2 left-handers, Adam and Will.
For Cottesloe, very rare do you see a couple of left-handers in the same team. Of course, we've seen the Downey brothers out here, a pair of brothers who are playing in the men's state league. Got the Hahn brothers also, a pair of brothers playing in the WA men's state league. Any other brothers playing in the state league?
Who's probably, who would you say, in your opinion, Patsy, is the most successful brothers combination in state league history?
In state league history?
Yeah.
Oh, the Luttrells, Tom and Reg, and Tony, of course, played state league for their respective club for many years. Great, Tony Luttrell, wonderful family. Of course, the Downey brothers playing. We see Will and Tom Hahn are out here playing. Siblings, yourself and your sister are playing. The Sayers, Elizabeth Sayer, Elizabeth Smiley, and Geraldine.
Don't you have a brother as well?
I'm just getting there. But I think if you're talking about successful siblings, I know brother Darren won 6 state league titles.
Yeah.
I've won 9. Thank you for asking. That's 15.
Outright winner, say, there, Patsy. No one comes close.
Well, as far as siblings, I think it'd be fair to say that we've got a few runs on the board there, JI, but looking forward to the Downey brothers and the Hahn brothers emulating and getting some state league wins. Not easy to win the state league title, as you realise, stepping into the captain of Alexander Park. You've been playing state league for 3 seasons now. Have you made a final?
Not yet, BP. I think this year's our year. Looking good coming into finals time.
This ball's just sliding through Adam Kahan. That left-hander, beautiful left-hander action. Ball skidded through Alex Downey. Just couldn't get the forehand over. Tried to chop down on that ball. Ball's just skidding through, as you can see. So be a little bit moist out here. And a little bit of breeze around. Not enough breeze to be blowing the moisture away. So again, players need to be a little bit more aggressive in their style, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Jerome?
definitely.
Let's talk about your sister, Chanel, who's playing for Royal Kings Park. Is the women's competition going ahead today? There's been no call because of the rain forecast? No.
Her fixture got postponed or cancelled. I'm not too sure what happened there. One of the two. Due to they were supposed to play last night or something and not enough courts today or something like that. So you're not sure what's happening, but they're not playing today, her team. So,
as we look at the women's state league competition happening today, Hensman Park are playing against Cottesloe. They're commencing, and as you rightly made mention, Peppermint Grove and Royal Kings Park looks like that tie has been postponed.
Nice, mate. Well done.
Skip across back to the top court. Downey up against Will Hahn. If we look at the women's results so far today, Hensman Park against Cottesloe, Lauren Nikolowski leading 4-1 against Lee Fairclough from Hensman Park, and Yudokic from Hensman Park 3-2 against Zini Zheng, and Kezia Vojicic up against Lara Tovic leading 1-love, and Ella Nurkic up against Helena Jakanovic from Cottesloe. And Nurkic is leading 4-1. Looks like they're using 4 courts down at Hensman Park. Good idea, trying to beat the weather that is forecast.
Other men's state league.
No results at this stage, Jerome.
Yeah.
All part of Score Buzzer, of course, if you want to keep up to date live scores of the men's and women's state league. You can get under Score Buzzer and download the app. That keeps you up to date with all the scores and all the players.
Who's playing who in the other game?
Dalkeith up against Hensman Park for the men's.
Ooh, big match there.
And Peppermint Grove up against UWA. We'll give you those scores as they come to hand, Jerome.
Cool. Perfect.
Beautiful touch. Lovely soft hands by Will Hahn at the net. Good aggressive play as well, bringing Chip into play. Just making Dan, I should say, try to come up with a winner, and could not on that occasion.
Yep.
I mean, certainly smart play. I mean, today on grass, you should be trying to be as aggressive as you can anyway. Grass is not designed to be won from the back of the court, Jerome. So you need to make sure you're aggressive and
4-1 down. I'm gonna go help out Alex.
Jerome, thank you. Alexander Park State League captain, just leaving the commentary booth, going on to Alex Downey's court. Alex Downey trailing Adam DeCahn from Cottesloe 4-1 this first set. Hope you're enjoying today's broadcast, brought to you by Scotty's Media. Scotty Walsh, former editor of the Today Tonight, no longer on air, on your airwaves. So we're fortunate to have Scotty supporting the broadcast of the Men's and Women's State League here in WA. On serve between Will Hahn, Dan Downey on camera. Dan closest to the camera, wearing the white shirt. Will wearing the blue shirt from Cottesloe Tennis Club. Great to see Cottesloe and Alexander Park having the names of their players on the back of their shirt. Great for spectators. Yeah, perfect serve volley tennis. Will Hahn really just smashes that into the crowd. Caught one of the spectators in the crowd and handed back. Overplaying forehand by Dan Downey. Both players just feeling each other out in these early stages of this first set. Dan had a breakout year last year, playing for Alexander Park. One of the form players in the competition. Beautiful swinging 1-2 punch. Willie Hahn sliding serve out to the backhand of Dan Downey and coming forward and punching that backhand volley away to the open court. Wonderful play, great tactics. on serve between Dan Downey and William Hahn. 3 games to 2 as we skip across. Adam Kahan, Cottesloe, closest to the camera, blue shirt, against Alex Downey, currently leading 4 games to 2 with a break early. A little bit of hot dog by Adam Kahan. Couldn't produce the Yannick Noah. Not a big fan of the hot dogging. Don't see a real need for it if you can get around and play more of a defensive shot rather than going through the legs. It's become popular, the likes of Nick Kyrgios producing the in-betweeners, made famous by Yannick Noah back in the 80s. French tennis legend. Beautiful backhand down the line. Alex Downey just opening up the backhand wing. That's the form he's been displaying all year. I don't think he'd be rattled being down an early break. He's fought himself out of similar situations throughout the course of this State League season. Alex Downey. Just a little wide. Good backcourt play by both boys. Adam moving forward, being the aggressor, forced the error from the forehand wing of Alex Downey, and that's the play that needs to be incorporated across both courts today. A bit more aggression, getting to the net. Very rare can you consistently hit winners past your incoming opponent, I should say. Particularly on grass courts. Ball skids through it. The top of the frame. Adam acknowledges that. Puts his hand up. Adam Kahan serving. Currently leading 4 games to 2 with an early break. Alex going for too much on that drop shot, pushing it wide. Again, probably should have moved forward 2 or 3 shots before attempting the drop shot. Balls were skidding through with pace. Adam was floating the ball back mid-court. Would have been an easy pick-off volley. First serve long. Nice aggressive play deep into the backhand wing, Adam Kahan. Adam Kahan, closest to the camera, blue shirt, Cottesloe Tennis Club, currently leading 4 games to 2 against Alex Downey. Opportunity here for Alex. Overplayed the forehand. There's the break straight back for Alex Downey. Smart tennis made Adam overplay the forehand. 4 games to 3. Change of ends. Will Hahn serving. Currently leading 4 games to 1. Beautiful play. The running forehand just belted back Dan Downey, but handled very nicely on the backhand wing of Willie Hahn. Good form, Will Hahn, leading into this match against Dan Downey. Distance out here would suit Will. Sliding first and second serves, left-hander to the backhand wing, Dan Downey. Beautiful cross-court forehand. Yeah, the crowd's starting to build up nicely down here to support Alexander Park State League boys. Cottesloe Tennis Club, they'll have their fans coming down, no doubt. I'd love to get around the Cottesloe crew, support their team. They've done for many years, been one of the most successful clubs in WA State League history. David Cully, the coach at Cottesloe Tennis Club, been instrumental in driving junior participation, junior pennants, and the success of that club for many years, best part of 21 years. Of course, Dave himself is a very good player. One of the best players coming out of WA in the 90s. Held the #1 ranking. Won 10 state league titles. Very accomplished player. Hope you're enjoying today's broadcast, brought to you by Scotty's Media. My name is Brett Patton, half the Scotty's Media and Court Talk commentary team. Bring you up to date with all the scores across the WA Men's and Women's State League. Will Hahn just brushing away a few flies. Almost perfect conditions out here. Very little breeze. Let's see. Important game to win from Will Hahn. Gave a little come on, leading 5 games to 2 as they change ends. Really been dominating early stages of this first set against Dan Downey. We skip back across. Alex Downey serving after breaking back, trailing 3 games to 4 against Adam Kahan. Cottesloe, furthest from the camera in the blue shirt. Overcast, expecting rain today. I'd be surprised if we do see a little bit of drizzle in the next 30 or 40 minutes. Adam Kahan breaking straight back after losing his serve. Now leads 5 games to 3. Both these chaps struggling to hold serve in a day I would suspect would favour the server, particularly with the courts being a little moist, a little slippery. Unfortunately, both players opting to stay back and playing the majority of their tennis from the back of the court. Better play. I'd like to see more of that aggressive play by Alex Downey. As you saw on camera there, the ball just stayed really low on that slice. Made the passing attempt from Adam a lot more tricky. Adam Card serving 5 games to 3. Down love 15. Wide, had a good look at that. Just double take, make sure it was wide and long. Swinging left-handed serve from Adam, causing Alex all sorts of trouble, particularly to the ad side of the court. Early stages of this match. Ball just rolling across the court. Been told to hold up. Match referee James Williams. Snatched at that forehand. A little bit nervous. Always tricky serving out of set. Adam Kahan serving at 5-3, down 15-30. Any questions you would like to ask, please write them in the live chat segment. Scotty's Media, YouTube production and broadcast. Happy to have your chat. Happy to answer your questions. Second serve, Adam Kahan. History shows he'll probably slide this out wide to the backhand of Alex. And again, a little bit of nerves creeping into Adam's game. Finds himself serving for the first set, but down 15-40. Again, pushing that first serve long, well long. Indication there is a little nerve creeping into his game. No, just ball shot through, kept very low on Alex. Smart play to take the second hand off the racket and just chip it back. Try to keep the ball low. It will skid through given there's a little bit of moisture on the court, so a little bit of rain earlier in today. 30-40. It's a good serve, sliding wide, and a fist pump from Adam, knowing the importance of that first serve juice. 5-3 juice, Adam Kahan serving for the first set. Saved 2 break points. We're not getting enough leg drive. Adam Kahan. Overplaying that backhand again, just showing his frustration. A lot of unforced errors in this 9th game of the first set. Serving for the set, Adam Kahan. Good opportunity to get off to a flying start against the in-form Alex Downey. Still break back point. Missing a lot of first serves. Caught the back edge of the line, skidded through. Alex had a play on that. Ball was coming through at pace. And again, the court's a little dewy. Back on. Serve. Juice, 5-3, Adam Kahan. We'll stay with you until the conclusion of this first set. Keep you updated with Will Hahn and Dan Downey on the other court. Pushed it long. Great play, Alex Downey. You can hear that. Supporters getting right behind Alex Downey. In good form. Round 11. Lost 1 singles match throughout the course of this regular season. Big serve down the tee. Had been going wide to the backhand wing. On this occasion, really opened up Alex. Straight down the tee. Juice. Pushed it wide, played an out ball. Adam Kahan, I think the chip cross court from Alex was floating wide. Adam choosing to play the forehand volley. Pushing it wide, finds himself down another break point. A little bit disgruntled, you can see that. My body language at the far end of the court. The blue shirt, Adam. Missing that first serve wide. His go-to serve, particularly to the ad court. Great volley. Adam Kahan really digging in this 9th game, serving for the first set. Finds himself back at deuce. Alex has had 4 break points in this game already. Adam digging deep. Missing again. Low percentage first serves. This 9th game from Adam. If you don't mind, takes a little bit of luck hitting the let cord. Does say sorry, but we all know no authenticity in that sorry appeal from Alex. Finds himself a 5th break point to get back on serve against Adam Kahan, serving from Cottesloe. Again, dropping that first serve into the net. Low percentages on the first serve, particularly in the last 3 service games from Adam Kahan. Second serve has favoured the sliding serve. There it is. Good deep forehand. Alex Downey getting back on serve in this first set. 5 games to 4. Had 6 breakpoint opportunities. Managed to make bank on that last breakpoint. Adam Kahan just slinking back to his chair. A little bit frustrated with the way he tried to serve out that first set. So watching Dan Downey come out against Will Hahn in what's been a very entertaining, hard-hitting match on the top court. Will Hahn changing the score. Currently, Will Hahn is leading by a set, 6 games to 3. Start of the very next set. Dan Downey serving, furthest from the court, furthest from the camera, I should say. In the white shirt, hat back to front. Will Hahn, blue shirt. Cottesloe Tennis Club ready to return. First game of the second set. Overplaying second serve. Not the start that Dan wanted. After dropping the first set 6 games to 3. Stay on court 2. Alex Downey serving. Square up this first set. Trailing 4 games to 5. Hope you're enjoying today's broadcast, brought to you by Scotty Walsh from Scotty's Media, former senior editor of Today Tonight. My name is Brett Patton, part of the commentary team here for Scotty's Media and Court Talk. Second serve, Alex. A little bit of nerves in Adam's game. Had the open forehand to do anything he liked with it. Put it straight back onto the racket of Alex Downey. He punched the volley away for a winner. 15 love, 4-5. It's been 3 consecutive breaks of serve. Alex is hoping to hold here to bring it to 5-all. And Kahan really struggling out there to close out this first set. Catching the top of the tape, made good with that first volley. Unfortunately, just pushing that forehand volley wide. 15-all. Adam really thought one of the balls that he played was going out. It dropped straight on the line. Played an awkward little chip back to Alex. Caught him off guard, and it's almost a comedy of errors throughout that point. Alex Downey serving, 15-all, trailing 4 games to 5. Let first serve. Of course, today's matches are played best of 3 sets. Third set will be a super tiebreaker if it goes the distance. First to 10 points. little bit of breeze pushing that ball from right to left across the screen as you're watching. On that occasion, just overplaying that backhand chip out of Kahan. 30-15. First service percentage, both players really dropped off in the latter stages of this first set. Again, trying to hold serve here for Alex after 2 previous breaks. Beautiful half volley. Adam Kahan couldn't make anything of that forehand cross court, catching midway up the net. 40-15, Alex Downey starting to assert himself here, albeit a little bit of nerves out there by both players. Both players have been very reluctant to come to the net, preferring to do majority of their work from the back of the court. Snatching at that first serve. Ball toss very low from Alex Downey. And again, overplaying on the second serve. As you can see on camera, the ball toss very low. Dropping lower and lower. No leg drive at all. Throw the ball too low. All you're doing is pushing the serve, and it has a tendency to push long rather than driving up through the legs, getting on top of the ball. And more of a topspin motion, be able to drag the ball down and then give yourself more margin of error. Great touch. Hold serve, 5 games apiece in this first set. Alex Downey and Adam Kahan. As we skip across to the top court, Will Hahn serving. Winning the opening set 6-3 on serve in the second. Down 0-1 against Dan Downey. Dan closest to the camera. Been good clean ball striking from Will Hahn. Coming up to an out. Players have been on court. High quality tennis between Dan and Will. He might stay court number 2. Adam Kahan serving, 5 games apiece. Dropped his last 2 service games. And again, starting very slowly in this very important 11th game on serve, down love 15. Alex Downey, the form player in this year's State League competition, winning all but 1 singles match in 11 rounds for Alexander Park. Beautiful drop right to the toes of Adam Kahan, just charging into the net. One of the first serve volleys we've seen him play. Alex handled the return of serve very nice. He finds himself up love 30. As we made mention, Adam Kahan has dropped last couple of service games, struggling to hold here again, trailing love 30 at 5-all this first set. Overplaying the forehand, really just opens up on that forehand. Very front on when he hits the ball. Overplaying, pushing it too deep. A little bit of nerves in that forehand as well. Becoming a little bit frustrated with his game after starting this first set terrific fashion. Breaking nice and early, holding all the ascendancy. But as the match has worn on, he's lost his nerve, lost his way a little bit latter stage of this first set, and Kahan serving closest to the camera in the blue shirt. Beautiful. Nice swinging serve coming in with a 1-2 punch, forehand down the line. Still trailing, 15-40. Two break points still for Alex Downey against Adam Kahan from Cottesloe Tennis Club, closest to the camera, blue shirt. and overplaying that forehand. He's calling out saying it was the wind. Too sure about that. I think pace of shot. Just snatched at that forehand, getting a little bit nervous himself, Alex Downey. Tight stage of this first set. Still finds himself up 30-40, another break point opportunity. Been a real arm wrestle between Adam and Alex in this latter stage of this first set. Back on juice, Adam's dug deep. He's found his first serve again. 5-all, juice. Staved off 3 break points. Good serve, swing it down the middle. And the fist pump from Adam just letting off a little bit of steam. A little bit of relief in that first serve. Domi Bouchard tuning in. How fast is Will Hahn's first serve? We'll get the gun on him shortly, Domi. Some of us talking in the 180 to 190 vicinity. I know Will Hahn, if you ask him, he'll say anywhere between 205 and 215. Get the gun out shortly, see if we can't record something for you. Double fault. Adam has a good look at that. But again, back on serve, juice. Another question coming in via way of Scotty Media YouTube. How many hours did I spend on court training and off court when playing State League? Pushing that forehand long, and a little bit of frustration coming in. No shape to his forehand, as you heard him mutter on the courtside camera. Flat forehand, and then break point opportunity for Alex Downey. That's a very good question. The amount of hours I spent on court, probably it's not as many as I should have. Just wasn't a fan of training. Beautiful play. Good aggressive, smart play. Chipping to the backhand wing of Adam as he throws the ball back in disgust. Another break of serve. 3 consecutive service breaks to Alex against Adam. Adam walking slowly back to his chair and throwing the racket away in disgust. As we move across, Alex serving for that first set, 6 games to 5. I would suspect I'd probably spend on court training anywhere between 4 and 6 hours a week. As made mention, some players who like to get out there and just train the house down on and off the court, whether it's hitting balls, going to the gym, whatever the case may be, but certainly wasn't my cup of tea. I'd like to give it the fresh play. Change of ends. Confirmation of the first serve from Will Hahn from Domi Bouchard. I can tell you that he's been clocked at 178 kilometres an hour. Ball skidding through. A little bit of moisture on the ball. Suspect that he would suggest that he's faster than that, but the moisture on the ball might just slow the ball down and fluff the ball up. Not get it moving through the air as quick as potentially on a warmer day. Beautiful left-handed action from Willie Hahn. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, this broadcast brought to you by Scotty's Media. Scotty Walsh, former senior editor of Today Tonight. Now full-time working on the production of the WA Men's and Women's State League. We'll give you some updates across the day's play. So we're watching Alex Downey fight back from adversity, serving for this first set. Again, snatching at that first serve, low ball toss. Oh, missed opportunity to come forward and be aggressive. A few nerves creeping into both boys out here on the second court. Alexander Park coming up against Cottesloe. As made mention, Adam Kahan serving for that first set only a matter of about 10 or so minutes ago. Now finds himself down a break, 6-5. Alex Downey serving for this first set. Real arm wrestle out here on the bottom court. Thank you to Zeus Setrid for that question about how many hours did I used to practice. Beautiful forehand punch down the line. Adam Kahan punching the air too, knowing the importance of this game. Both players have found themselves in positions to close out the first set. Neither have really gone after it. Love 30, 6-5. First serve again, failing. A bit of breeze blowing into the face of Alex Downey. You can see the shirt just rattling around there. Beautiful play, smart play. Seeing when Alex moves forward, he's aggressive, he's winning the majority of the points. He hasn't registered just yet. Probably needs Jerome, who's the captain of the men's Alexander Park State League side, sitting courtside, just needs to reiterate that message to him. The role of the captain and the role of the team manager, sit courtside with your charger and just give them some tips, what you can observe and how they can improve against their opponent. 15-30, 6-5. Again, snatching at that first serve, ball toss very low. Another great question coming from Zeus. He asks, why don't we see more players at this level knifing the slice backhand and coming in, or coming in more generally when the grass is damp and the conditions are quicker? It's a great question. 15-40, I'll get to that, Zeus. Good serve and volley. One of the few serve and volleys we've seen from Alex played dividends at a crucial stage. One break point saved, 30-40. I think the nature of the way tennis has played over the last decade has lent itself to more matches being played from the back of the court. 30-40. Another big serve, slider down the middle. You can hear the crowd getting right behind their charger here at Alexander Park in the leafy suburb of Manoora. You can see that more so at Wimbledon, where back in the 80s and 90s and the 70s, the wear mark was around the mid-court, used to form a big T. A bit disgruntled. Another break point opportunity for Adam Kahan. When I mean the big T, you see the back of the court, there was always the worn mark on the grass courts there at Wimbledon, and the centre corridor was always worn down and the top of the service boxes. So it formed somewhat of a T, a reverse T, as you look at from the camera. Nowadays, the worn marks are really at the back of the court. Very few players do serve and volley. Another opportunity going begging to break serve from Adam Kahan. Juice 6-5, Alex Downey. And I just think the nature of the play has lent itself to being more conducive to be at the back of the court. I think technology, Zeus, has played a big part in that. Players will tell you it's a lot harder to serve and volley because rackets are a lot lighter. And the strings, you can take big cuts at the ball. Ball's coming a lot quicker at you when you try to serve and volley. I did like that play, smart play from Alex. Unfortunately, just undercooked that drop shot backhand. And I don't think a lot of coaches out there are really impressing on the need to serve and volley and to be aggressive. A lot of their charges. I still think there's a place for serve and volleying in the men's game. There's no doubt about that. I think you can add a little bit of something different to your kit bag. Sure, have the big serve. Sure, big strokes from the back of the court. But the element of surprise, a la Downey, I should say, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Can pay dividend in the men's game. Oh, beautiful slice backhand. Was not expecting the cross-court slice backhand. Adam Kahan. This first set has gone on for about 66 minutes. Both boys reluctant to close it out. Adam Kahan had his opportunity early in this set, serving for this first set at 5-3. Now, Alex Downey, 6-5, juice. Almost like he was planted to the ground on that return of serve. Chip forehand return of serve by Adam Kahan. First set point for Alex Downey. First set point we've seen. And this number 4 singles between Cottesloe and Alexander Park. There it is, opening up the first set. Alex Downey winning 7-5 against Adam Kahan in a very tight first set, and tick over an hour as we skip across to the top court. Will Hahn's having his way with Dan Downey at the stage, leading 6-3 and 4-1. Just back to the serve and volley. Certainly on grass, Wimbledon, you'll see the aggressive players win more often, albeit back in 1992, there was a final played between Goran Ivanisevic and Pete Sampras. And there was a lot of complaints coming by the broadcasters and the spectators, the viewers at home, saying that it was really just a serve match. Big serve, very few returns, very short points. And because of that, they changed the matting of the grass at the All England Club to slow the balls, and not only slow the balls down when the ball hits the grass, but they also like to aerate the balls a day before all the matches. Traditionally, you'd open the ball only moments before going onto court. Now, the All England Club, they open the ball tin up and let it aerate 24 hours just to decompress the ball somewhat, slow the ball down. Oh, unfortunately, just missing that backhand wide. And you'll see, really, in the early 2000s, a lot of the tournament directors were opting for slower style courts. A lot of tournaments, more tournaments were played on clay court, kept the rallies going longer. And also they used to slow down the hard courts, a little bit grittier, a little bit slower. Some of the hard court speed. You heard Leighton Hewitt famously say back in the mid-90s, the mid-2000s, that he was dissatisfied with the way they prepared the courts at Melbourne Park. He said it was favouring the European players, baseliners. Showed his frustration. He wanted the course to be a little bit quicker. So to answer your question, Zeus, I suggest it's probably threefold. One, technology has changed the way the game is played. Rackets lighter, strings being grittier, where you can take big cuts of the ball. The ball's travelling through the air a lot quicker, so when you're serving and volleying, the ball is traditionally coming at you quite quick and it's dipping. Two, I think the speed of the courts has changed dramatically, as I made mention. All England have changed the matting of the grass and they aerate the balls early just to slow the balls down. And the third part of that is I just don't think coaches are teaching the art of the serve and volley as they used to back in the 70s and 80s. Mind you, the majority of the tournaments were all played on grass. 3 of the Grand Slams used to be played on grass: the Australian Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. So they changed that around. 2 of the Grand Slams now played on hard court, being the US and the Australian Open. 1 on grass at Wembley and 1 at French on clay. course, today's broadcast is brought to you by Scotty's Media. Scotty Walsh, former senior editor of Today Tonight. My name is Brett Patton, part of the commentary team here at Scotty's Media. Court Talk. You'll hear me on Court Talk alongside my brother, Big D, Sunday mornings on 91.3 Sport FM. Back next week. Back to talk all things local WA tennis, what's happening around the WA Open, some of the rumours that have been coming out of the Australian Open over the last few weeks. Mr. Dackins has posted a question on Scotty's Media asking, will we be doing more interviews with players and coaches in the WA community? Would love to see more of this. Keep up the great work. Thank you for tuning in. Of course we would, and we will be bringing you more of the best players in the men's and women's game. You get onto Scotty's Media Facebook. We've done quite a few interviews with some of the players in the men's and women's state league. Astrid Canther, the women's state league captain from Kings Park. We had a chat to her. Chatted to Jerome O'Connor from Alexander Park. Will Hahn, Scotty Jones from Cottesloe. We've spoken to Ashwin Sharma from Alexander Park. Of course, we'll be lining up more players over the coming weeks as we close in on finals for the WA men's and women's state league competition. Rain is holding off. So far, so good out here at Alexander Park, in the leafy suburb of Manoora. Some of the finest grass courts you will find anywhere, just in the men's and women's state league competition, but right across this great country. We're going to be having a quick chat to one of the leading juniors in Australia, Chanel Oconee, playing for Royal Kings Park. That match has been postponed due to the inclement weather. I'm chatting to Chanel all about her tennis journey so far. So we're watching Dan Downey trailing 6-3, 4-1 against Willie Hahn. As we welcome to the commentary booth, Chanel Oconee. Just getting Chanel up on screen as we talk, and welcome. She's doing the right thing with all the protocols in place, with a face mask on, not playing today. Chanel, for Royal Kings Park, what's the situation with your match today? Has it been postponed?
Hey Patsy. No, I don't think so. I think we just split the points and called it a day. Pepe, we're on the way there and got a message from Pepe saying to call it off due to the weather. So
closer to the coast, Peppermint Grove, probably getting some of that weather. No doubt that we'll a little bit more inland here in Manoora. We'll probably get the weather a little bit later. But for now, matches are being played almost perfect conditions, albeit the courts are a little bit slippery, but still very little breeze around. Yeah. Let's talk about your form. Talk about Kings Park's form in the Women's State League. 4 teams playing in the Women's State League so far this year. Kings Park have been a perennial finalist. Some of the better teams in the Women's State League, Peppermint Grove, some great competition at the top end there with Talia Gibson and Talia Preston. Yeah. Talk a little bit about some of the better players in the competition in the Women's State League this season.
Yeah, well, obviously there's only 4 teams, but it's not like there's just like 4 teams. Like they're very, they have a lot of depth in each team. Like the competition's very strong. Obviously Peppermint Grove, you have Talia, Taylor, Caitlin, and obviously Luna and Tara. They've now gone to America, but so they have quite a solid team. Obviously Kings Park, my team, like we've played together for, well, I'm like the newest addition, I guess, but like those girls have played together for maybe, I don't know, like so many years, and we're quite tightly knit. And Hensman, they've got the 3 up-and-comers, Lily Fairclough, Ellen Nurkic and Senya, and along with Anya Dokic and Hayley Burton, dub specialist. So yeah, all the teams are really, really tough actually.
Just talk a little bit about some of the players that have gone and left the Women's State League competition, gone away to college. Yeah. A bit blessed that we've actually had them for this period of time, given that they were probably meant to go last year, a bit like Jerome, your brother. some of the players that have actually left and are now at college. Who are some of those players?
Yes, there's Luna Djukanovic, Tara Gilic, Lexi Weir also left. Casey Tay left, but not to go to college. She went to Melbourne to live there.
Casey
Tay.
Casey Tay, okay. That's a real loss to the competition, no doubt about that. Is the depth coming through? Have we got enough players to be able to fill the voids of those girls?
Yeah, definitely, because they were all from, two of them were from Pepe, Tara and Luna, and Casey, so 3 of them from Pepe. And they had, I think, maybe like 8 players on their list, so they can definitely fill the gaps, whereas Cottesloe, they've also lost Jessie Cully as she's gone over east. So I'm not too sure who they will fill it with, maybe some Div 1 players or...
Aspirationally, I mean, you've been at Alexander Park for many years alongside your brother, I think 7 or 8 years coming down as a junior. I remember watching a Today Tonight interview with you and your brother some years ago now, talking about the great Iconi siblings coming through as juniors. Kings Park have embraced you. You're really enjoying your time at Kings Park. Wonderful club, great tradition there. Used to be the former home of WA Tennis. How are you finding your experience at Kings Park?
Yeah, honestly, it's been great. This is my 2nd or 3rd year now playing with the girls, and it's always great fun playing with them, like Asti as well, like such a good coach and supporter on the sidelines. Obviously, Kings Park itself, great venue, great facilities, like using the gym and the pool. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
As we're seeing Adam Kahan just overplaying a forehand against Alex Downey. Alex starting to hit his straps here, just unshackled, winning that first set 7-5. Starting to free up a little bit. Now, you're a big supporter of the Women's State League, obviously, and you're playing a lot of the UTR events, a lot of the ITF events. What does 2021 look like for you as far as going out and playing?
Yeah, well, obviously everything's quite uncertain with the virus and stuff, but I'd definitely like to travel a lot more this year. Obviously not as much during school as I'm in year 12, but yeah, just trying to play more tournaments interstate and hopefully get my ranking up a bit.
Where are we currently sitting in your Australian ranking?
I'm currently 149 in Australia.
With a bullet, as Molly Meldrum used to say, on the right way, the right trajectory, no doubt about that. Coming out here to support your second club, I guess, or the first home club, Alexander Park. Live around the corner. Your father, Claude, is prodigious, one of the great real estate agents floating around Perth, and you can't miss him because he's driving the latest Mercs wherever he goes. Now, he's also doing a lot of the social media and a lot of the production work here for Alexander Park. I mean, it's been a great addition, really recognising this club, not just for its tennis, but for more so for the community. What are some of the activities and events that you get down to at Alexander Park that are just not tennis related?
Yeah, well, we've had a few, like in the past, some Christmas parties. Obviously not recently because of COVID, but there've been some like Christmas parties. There've been some under 18 like little party events. We've had a games night. What else? Oh, we've had a karaoke night.
Do you find yourself getting up there, just sort of, holding the mic and going after it? I mean, the Iconi family is certainly not shy of a microphone. You're doing wonderfully well today. But, such is a great community down here. And I guess it's probably a lot of clubs can certainly learn from some of the activities that are being, implemented here at Alexander Park, because it's all about building the communities, not just about if you don't want to play tennis, it's okay, but come down and be part of a tennis club, be part of the community. And, like I said, all clubs like to embrace all sorts of characters and cultures and sex and age. So beautiful half volley from Will Hahn as we see him close out that match and just takes the hat off. He's might have a chat to Will Hahn a little bit later. What do you know about Will Hahn? Have you had much to do with Will?
Yeah, I've known him for a few years now. Great lefty, and really nice guy off the court as well.
Oh, that's high praise from you. You've got a lot of suitors and a lot of fans floating around the WA tennis community. There's no doubt about that. Thank you. Thank you for having a chat to us. Good luck with next week. Hopefully we'll see you on and playing, and hopefully we'll be broadcasting one of the Kings Park matches over the next couple of weeks. We'll just have to ask Scotty Walsh for that. Thanks.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, Chanel.
Thanks.
Chanel Iconi, one of the talented members of the WA tennis fraternity here. One of the best juniors in her age category throughout Australia, as you heard. Going to year 12 this year. Big year. Be a real juggling act between practice, tournaments and schoolwork. Watching Alex serving after winning the first set 7-5. Adam Kahan, furthest from the court, Cottesloe. Opportunities in that first set, leading 5-3, serving. Just started to tighten up a little bit. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying today's match at Alexander Park. Alexander Park facing Cottesloe. Cottesloe started the season a little bit slow, but has really come on. Terrific players in Scotty Jones and Will Hahn, really carrying the team. Scotty Jones has been a player in WA, UTRs, winning a number of UTRs. And also faring very well here in the number 1 position for Cottesloe. Again, good aggressive play, Alex Downey. Just pushing that forehand deep, asking the question of Adam. Couldn't come up with a forehand pass. Keep you updated with some of the scores that are happening around the grounds. One of the matches in play at the moment for the Women's State League, Hensman Park off to a flying start, leading 3-0 against Cottesloe. Lily Fairclough from Hensman Park, currently trailing by a set and 5-2 to Lauren Nikolowski. Anya Dokic from Hensman Park defeated Zheng Yi Zheng 6-3, 6-3. Wojcicki defeating Lara Tovic 6-1, 6-4. And Nella Nurkic defeating Helena Jankovic 6-2, 6-1. So heading into the doubles, Hensman Park currently leading 3-0. In fact, 3-1 now. Just saw Laura Nikolowski defeat Lily Fairclough 6-3, 6-2. As we heard from Chanel O'Coney, Kings Park and Peppermint Grove, because of the inclement weather out there at Peppermint Grove, have called that match off and made it a tie. They'll be splitting the points. The other ties being played across today, Dalkeith up against Hensman Park at Dalkeith. Scotty Webster leading 6-3 and on serve against Zach Eckstein. Benny Webster against Reece Johnson. Reece Johnson from Hensman leading 6-3 on serve. Down 2-3. Josiah Tyson and Matty Burton. Matt Burton, really the son of a gun, playing some great tennis this year. Real standout, real breakout year for young Matthew Burton from Hensman Park, leading 6-3, 2-1 against Josiah Tyson. And James Newton leading 6-5 against Ollie Henderson. The other match between Peppermint Grove and UWA doesn't seem to be having any match. I think they've called that match off between Peppermint Grove or UWA, or particularly what might have happened is they were playing Friday night and they've postponed it for another day. Beautiful cross-court forehand, just catching the frame from Adam Kahan, just dropping on the line as it skid away there from Alex Downey. Alex shaking his head, couldn't really believe, but acknowledging it now, such as a good sportsman that Alex is, saying well done, good shot. Top court, just seeing the practice heat up between Scotty Jones and Ashwin Sharma, far end of the court. Scotty Jones, as I made mention, former player of the WA Men's State League competition. Terrific young player, former Australian Open under-18s champion, singles of a few seasons ago. Great potential. Looking to hone his craft on the professional tour after spending 4 years away at college. He's had the fresh trim for today, knowing that he'd be on the broadcast. He likes to get the Barry Bear taken care of, nice and tidy. Shaved off the beard. Smooth mover, very quick around the court, slightly built, big powerful game. Great hand-eye coordination from Scotty Jones. If you're watching Alex Downey come back, closest to the camera. Just collecting a ball after winning the first set 7-5. On serve in the second set. Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We're going to keep you up to date with all that's happening across the men's and women's state league. One tie being played in the women's state league at the moment. Of course, we've got 2 ties here for the men's. Just spoke moments ago to young Chanel O'Coney, real star on the rise for WA tennis. On the top-rated juniors in an age group across the country, playing for Alexander Park, or did a junior pennants here, now playing for Kings Park. As you made mention, loves her play, loves her time there at Kings Park. Wonderful group of girls. Astrid Cantor, the Women's State League captains, doing a terrific job galvanising the team out there at Kings Park, former home of WA tennis. Snatched at that forehand, Adam Kahan. Pushing that backhand long. Adam again, just frustrated, throwing his hands up. Disbelief. A lot of unforced errors creeping into Adam Kahan's game. Don't know too much about Adam. Might have a chat to him post this match. Get a little bit more insight into where he's come from, where he played his junior tennis, what his aspirations are. Good serve. And again, overplaying that forehand. Just opens up on the forehand side. The game of tennis has changed in its stroke production. Once upon a time, you were taught to stay side on your forehand if you're a right hand, to get that left leg out in front, left arm out in front to balance and stay as side on as you possibly can all the way through. Nowadays, with the technology change, players can hit with the open stance, and we see again another forehand error. And for me, there's a few technical issues on that forehand wing from Adam Kahan. Break a serve. Alex Downey leading 7-5. And leading 4-1 in the second set. So we're watching Scotty Jones just go through his practice routine. Closer to the camera, the all blue. You get a real kick out of the way Scotty plays. Good, smooth mover, clean ball striker. Not the biggest character, but he's got a massive ticker. Like we made mention, he's really trimmed up for the occasion. Shaved the beard off. Looks like he's giving it the threes all around the noggin. No one likes a camera or a mic better than Scotty Jones. Great talent, great entertainer, terrific young personality. My name is Brett Patton, part of the Court Talk and Scotty Media commentary team. This match is being played at Alexander Park in the leafy suburb of Manoora. Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We enjoy bringing it to you. Of course, we like to bring up to date with all that's happening across the men's and women's state league throughout the summer of tennis here in WA. Building our patronage here. Great to have you tuning in. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask, just get on the live chat site, throw them out there. We'll do our very, very best to start answering some of your questions. Great ones coming through. Tommy Bouchard asked how fast is Will Hahn's first serve. Now, like we've made mention, coming in around just under 180 kilometres an hour. He'll dispute that. He's a proud man. He would suggest it's over the 200 Ks. We kick back 4-1 and a setup. Alex Downey furthest from the camera in the all white against Adam Kahan from Cottesloe Tennis Club. If you're enjoying what you're seeing and what you're hearing, get on to Scotty's Media on YouTube and like and subscribe. Love to have you as a regular. Start promoting Scotty's Media. He's doing the right thing by promoting WA men's and women's state league tennis in this state. Beautiful hands at the net. If you don't mind, Pat Cash against Macau Pernforce. Davis Cup final of a number of years ago. Pat Cash dominant around the net. Good hands from Alex Downey. Just hitting the top of the frame and dropping over. Made the right move to come to the net though. Good swinging serve. And again, a lot of errors creeping into the game of Adam Kahan. You can see him starting to get a little bit frustrated. A lot of similarities between Adam's left-handed style and a little bit of John McEnroe, particularly with that open stance forehand. Beautiful serve down the tee, sliding away from the left-hander. Following this match, of course, we're going to see Jerome O'Coney come up against Luca Brown. Looking forward to seeing that match. Jerome back to some form. Luca Brown's been a terrific form player throughout this summer of tennis for Cottesloe Tennis Club, Men's State League. Oh, beautifully played backhand. Just putting the hand up, apologising. Didn't think he caught all of that with the strings, Alex. Did enough. 5-1. Complete turnaround from the very first set. Adam Kahan burst out of the blocks, getting a nice early break, serving for the first set at 5-3. Tightened up a little bit. And then really, just been too many unforced errors have crept into Adam's game as he's serving down 1-5, serving to stay in this match. Pushing over, playing the forehand cross court. Encourage you all to get on and subscribe to Scotty's Media. Like it, subscribe to it. Looking forward to keeping you into the loop. What's happening with the WA Men's and Women's State League. They're broadcasting across this summer of tennis. Thank you, Claude O'Coney. Always great to have Claude listening in. No one does media quite like Claude. Edison Property, Claude O'Coney. If you need a house sold, give the great man Claude O'Coney a call. No one moves houses quite as quick and as well as Claude. Can't miss him driving around in the latest Merc, red in colour. Wearing some of the loudest suits you'll find. We'll stay with this match until the conclusion. Scotty Jones and Ashwin Sharma, two big hitters, just commencing their match. Kick across to that match at the completion of Adam and Alex. Beautiful backhand down the line. Just starting to get his groove on. Adam just talking to himself. Probably picked it up on the courtside mic. A little bit frustrated. The ball just comes onto the court, rolls on. Men's and Women's State League. Best of 3 sets in the men's and women's singles and doubles. Third set will be a super tiebreaker, which is first to 10 points. Dumping that high forehand volley into the net. Alex just asking, was he put off by the ball that slid across on the court? That ball came across about 2 or 3 strokes ago, so fair to say that he wasn't put off. Alex is actually saying, if you want to play two, play two. I would suspect that it didn't have any impact on Adam, yet he's taking the play two. Nice sportsmanship from Alex Downey. Don't think it was warranted though. Beautiful touch, backhand chip over the top of Adam Kahan. Brings up match points in a match that's been going for about an hour and 36 minutes. Just skip across. We'll come back to the match point. between Adam and Alex. Kerry Wagnall, president of Alexander Park, tuning in. Thank you, Kerry. Good serve and volley. Look, too late now to be pushing serve and volleying in the 7th game of the 2nd set after trailing a set 5-1. Probably need to be doing a little bit more of that early stages of this match. Another break, another match point. Alex Downey leading 7-5, 5-1 against Adam Kahan, the left-hander, Cottesloe Tennis Club. And there it is. The crowd just go up in applause and appreciation for the dig-out of Alex Downey. Found himself down 5-3 in that first set, coming back to win the match 7-5, 6 games to 1. Square the ledger with Cottesloe Tennis Club after what was a dismantling on the top court from Will Hahn against Dan Downey. 1 tie apiece. Watching this match, Ashwin Sharma just stepping on to court here, into range, I should say, in view of the camera, up against Scotty Jones from Cottesloe Tennis Club, furthest from the camera, in the all blue. Early breaker serve, Scotty Jones leading 1 game to love against Ashwin Sharma. Very smart player, Scotty Jones. Sees a short ball, will move forward. Didn't overplay that, just positioned it nicely into the backhand wing of Ashwin Sharma. Just asked the question of Ashwin, do your best to pass me, with the ball skidding through. Smart tennis. Scotty Jones, back after 4 years at college in the US. Apparently used to go by the name of Speedy Scotty. A bit like Speedy Gomez because of his quicks around the court. He still light up, had some great wheels on him. Scotty Jones still does. Only a young man, 23 years of age, 24 years of age. Looking to take that next step to the pros. Once the COVID restrictions have been completely lifted, great to see Scotty out there honing his craft. Some of the best players in the world. Prodigious talent, one of the great juniors that have come out of WA in many years, Scotty Jones. Won the Australian Under-18s Championships a few seasons ago during the Australian Open playoffs in December. Had a lot to do with Andrew Roberts, who's part of the High Performance Academy in Queensland. To welcome Willie Harm, just giving you a big plug, Will. Talking about your wonderful form out there. Geez, you're playing some great tennis. I mean, what do you put it down to?
Well, I can't say I've done a whole lot of pre-season preparation, but I think a mixture of coaching has kept the hands intact, and hitting yesterday, coming out of quarantine with Scotty and the rest of the guys on the team, Woodsy as well, who can't be with us. But yeah, keeping my feeling.
Well, I thought you played incredibly well out there. I mean, how did you find the conditions? A little bit heavy? Was it the courts a little bit dewy? Were they a little bit skiddy?
Yeah, it was certainly a little bit slippery at the start, I think. But I think the A Park courts have always played well, in my opinion. So today was no different, really. I think the kind of slipperiness, we got over it pretty quick. The rain kind of stopped and the wind just, I don't know, dried it out a bit, I guess. But yeah, we're playing really well.
Absolutely, no question about that. They are some of the finest grass courts you'll actually find. Played on old bowling rinks here, so the runoff has always been very, very good. Still played. You can play serve and volley. You can play back at the court. I mean, today you bit of everything today. You did throw it up, aggressive at times, stayed back at times. I mean, your natural flair for the game. Do you prefer to serve and volley, or you prefer staying at the back of the court?
I've always been told by coaches I should probably serve volley a little bit more. I'm a confident server, I think, but I don't know. I think it's just more of an instinctive thing, kind of whatever I'm feeling. Don't really prefer anything in particular, but yeah.
So don't go in with any notion that this is the way you're going to play. It's just on the day how you think your opponent's playing, and then you'll change your style around as the game unfolds.
Yeah, I certainly think adapting to your opponent is a big thing. That's probably the big thing before coming out on court. Obviously playing your strengths to their weaknesses, so it's a good change up, but yeah.
Domi Bouchard sent a message through saying, how fast is Will Hahn's first serve? Now, we clocked it We think it's around about 180. Now, there's some talk that you would suggest it's between 205 and 215. I mean, have you had your serve clocked?
I don't believe I have, to be honest. I'd be interested to know. But yeah, I think it's gotten a bit bigger in the last 6 months. So
well, it's pretty big today. There's no doubt about that. We can get the gun. We've actually got a speed gun floating around the club here somewhere, so we might get it out for your doubles. But you and your brother Tom, I mean, how do you guys go against each other? I mean, one's lefty, one's righty, obviously, both using the Yonex sticks. You love the Yonex brand, there's no doubt about that. I mean, how do you two go? Do you play a lot together? Do you hit a lot together? What was it like coming up in the same household?
Yeah, certainly an advantage, I think, having a brother that can hit a ball all right. Unfortunately, he's seriously stubborn, and it usually ends in a bit of a cat fight. But up against him, he'd love to hear it, but I think I'm 0-8 or 0-5 against him. Lefty works unless they have a very good backhand, which he does, so it's tough.
Yeah, it's always hard to beat your brothers. I can attest to that. No question about that. Whether they're better or not, there's always something about playing the brothers. Now, you come from a good pedigree in sport and family, really. Your father was a terrific football player, and did you play a lot of football in your junior days?
Yeah, I think growing up it was footy mainly, and then tennis kind of came into the picture. And then I think year 6 or 7, just before Bruce Cup, kind of made the call that I'd like to be better at one sport than an all-rounder, much to Dad's despise. But yeah, no, footy was a big part of my junior sporting career for sure. I miss it. Yeah.
Now, your father, correct me if I'm wrong, was he a captain of Claremont?
Yeah, was captain. Yeah.
Back in the 90s, 80s, 90s?
Don't ask me.
Now, who do we barrack for? You still go for Claremont, and you've got a leaning toward Eagles or Dockers, or you look more east?
Yeah, certainly, obviously, Claremont coming from Dad. Probably myself, a very loose Freo supporter. Kind of just enjoy watching it as opposed to going nuts for Freo. But yeah.
Looking forward to the AFL season commencing only a matter of weeks away. So looking forward to that alongside the tennis, of course. Now, what are you expecting from Scotty Jones out here? I mean, Scotty's been a form player. I'm watching he's on screen right now up against Ashwin Sharma, the brother of Astra Sharma, who's playing the Australian Open commencing on Monday. I mean, terrific and a very consistent player, very speedy player, good level-headed kid, Scotty Jones. I mean, what has he been putting his success down to over the last couple of years, do you think?
Well, I think Scotty, certainly the college scene, I think playing at University of Tennessee, which is a super prestigious American college, I think that's done great things for him. I'd just say probably just his commitment and hours put into the sport over everything. I think he had a slowish start to the first half, which I'd never really seen from him. But I think, that kind of almost kicked him into gear a bit. And ever since he's been playing flawless, you don't tend to see too many bad matches from him, I think.
Now, you made mention Cottesloe, I mean, almost in line with Scottish form, did start really slow. Traditionally, have always been perennial finalists. Cottesloe, one of the great track records in state league over 20 or 30 years. Where do you think you're going to finish? You finish in the finals? If you finish in the finals, fair to say that you'd probably have one of the best teams on court once you get everyone on the park? Yeah.
Well, I certainly think one of the tougher teams to beat when I think everyone's in form. So hopefully we find that kind of pitch perfect form towards the back end of this second half. I think we're either sitting at second or we're close to second. So I think provided nothing goes horribly wrong, we end up in the finals. But yeah, I guess like finals, as you know, Patsy's a different ball game, so it's kind of anyone's shot.
It is indeed. Looking forward to Cottesloe getting back. Haven't won it for about 4 or 5 seasons, I think, from memory. So it'd be great to see Cottesloe back up there and vying for contention. Let's talk about your team. Timmy Woods, I mean, he's had it. We spoke earlier on Scotty's Media as part of the build-up to the second half of this season. But Timmy Woods has had a breakout year. I mean, for those who don't know, Timmy Woods, Amber Jack's one of the finest fish and chip shops you'll find in WA. But he really had been sort of on the brink of state league, but playing a lot of Div 1 matches. He stepped up to state league this year. He's probably about 46, 47 years of age. He's had a breakout year this year, hasn't he? Yeah, well, I mean, I think the last time I played with Tim was a few years back, and it's just impressive to see him stay in such good form, doing as much as he does, I guess. Obviously runs Amber Jacks and whatnot, so he's a pretty busy man, but yeah, he's in good physical nick and somehow just can always step on court and kind of have it in him. So yeah, it's good. Do you think it's low carbs and some of the batter that he put in the fish and chips, you think? Yeah, there's definitely a diet trick going on somewhere. No doubt about it. Amber Jack, some of the finest fish and chips you'll find anywhere. Not only is it down at Cottesloe, but it's also at Elizabeth Quay. You can get down there and try the fish and chips. Hopefully we'll get a discount. It's hard to get a discount at Amberjack, so yeah, very hard. Looking forward to what can you tell us about Luca Brown as we switch across and watch Luca come up against Jerome O'Connor. So what can you tell the listeners and the viewers a little bit about Luca?
Well, he's certainly improved since I'm spending a year in the States. Hadn't seen him for a while, but certainly improved since. I think a bit of height, a bit more meat on his bones, puts a bit more weight behind his shots. Definitely backhands hard as nails. And yeah, just a bit of an all-rounder. Can hit a hard ball, also has some pretty good feel, can play doubles all right. So yeah.
Is he feeling confident going into this match against Jerome? I mean, Jerome and him probably around about the same age, and Jerome was really a dominant junior and just had a good win last week against Troy Hargraves. Has sort of stumbled a little bit throughout this year, Jerome. So how does Luca feel about coming up against Jerome today?
I think Luca always has a sense of confidence stepping onto court with whoever it may be, which I think is a real advantage. So I think his self-belief is certainly there. I'm not exactly sure how he feels about this particular match, but I'd say he thinks he's definitely in it for sure, but I think it'll be a good game.
Could be said something about his character, a little bit of swagger, a little bit of strut in the step. There's no question about that. Big, as you made mention. So I'm looking forward to this match between Jerome and Luca. Back to you. Spent a year at college. What's happening with you and your tennis aspirations, or certainly college aspirations?
Yeah, well, I came back from college last March maybe, and so I did a
due
year.
to COVID?
Oh, yes and no. So yeah, I came back at that time, but kind of parted ways with the college that I was at. So there were a couple of transfer options on the table, but coming out of quarantine, I kind of just realised how good Perth is. So just done a semester at uni here, and nothing serious since. But yeah, it's good to be back on a state league court for sure.
Would you look to go back to university if a reasonable college came a knocking?
I mean, yeah, if a reasonable college came knocking, maybe, but you've got to be playing all the tournaments and whatnot to kind of stay in the ballpark, which I haven't been. But yeah, pretty content with where I am, to be honest.
Well, you're playing some great tennis, no question about it. Certainly one of the form players in the WA Men's State League at the moment. A few players have moved, a few players have gone back to college, and a few players have gone away and playing some of the lead-up tournaments to the Australian Open. Cottesloe, certainly, without question, one of the best teams, and certainly vying for a home final come the next couple of weeks. Good luck. Yeah, great to see you to play today, and we'll see you in the doubles.
Cheers, thank you.
Willie Hahn, one of the finest players in the Men's State League, playing for Cottesloe. So we kick across and watch the top court. Boys, Scotty Jones leading 3-0 as we kick across to the bottom court. Jerome O'Connor and Luca Brown just preparing here before they start their match.
Scotty.
Just watching final stage of the hit-up between Scotty Jones. All right, tell a lie. Scotty Jones serving. What am I talking about? Had a quick drink break and I've lost my mind. Scotty Jones, beautiful play, aggressive play, can move forward, does move forward. Currently leading 3-0 against Ashwin Sharma. Smooth mover. As he walks back to the camera, as you can see, close up there, the shaved Barry Bear. Nice and tidy for the big broadcast match today from Scotty's Media. Wouldn't be surprised if he's did a few push-ups prior to getting on camera, just to pump himself up a little bit. Terrific young competitor, Scotty Jones. Looking forward to what his career looks like. Big kick serve. Just jamming up Ashwin Sharman on that high backhand. Of course, Ashwin coming back, fighting back from somewhat of a serious wrist injury to his left hand, has been only really plying that second hand over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Prior to that, he'd been using the one-hander, chipping that backhand, which is not his standard on his backhand wing.
One and only. One and only.
Scotty Jones serving. First serve let, second serve fault. Take you around the grounds, give you an update of the rest of the scores that are being played. Find the conclusion of this point. Pushing that long as we're starting to see a little bit of moisture come through. A few spots of rain out there at the moment. Some updates from the Saturday Men's State League. Dalkeith up against Hensman Park. Dalkeith and Hensman currently tied, albeit that they're playing at Dalkeith on the hard court. Scotty Webster defeated Zach Eckstein 6-3, 6-4. Reece Johnson's up 6-3 and on serve against Ben Webster. Matty Burton, son of a gun. Another terrific win against Josiah Tyson, 6-3, 6-4. And Ollie Henderson currently up a set and 4-3 against James Newton. Currently the match is all squared there at 1 rubber apiece between Dalkeith and Hensman Park. And the other match that was due to be played last night, Peppermint Grove and UWA, has been called off today, looking to reschedule. And of course today's match between Alexander Park and Cottesloe being played at Alexander Park. Scotty Jones currently leading 4 games to love. A little bit of breeze has picked up. Where there's breeze, there will certainly be rain. The skies are getting a little darker here, as you can see on the broadcast. The wind's really blowing right to left and into the camera as you're viewing. Thank you for tuning in. This broadcast brought to you by Scotty's Media. Scotty Walsh, former senior editor of Today Tonight, responsible for the broadcast. My name is Brett Patton. Beautiful. Oh, overplaying that backhand down the line. Scotty just thought he had that covered. As you can see, the quickness, fleet of foot. Really plays on top of the ground. He's a great mover, Scotty. Worked on his movement, his agility for years. One-hander, a little bit of arrogance there, Scotty. Walking back to the camera there, just looking at himself into the camera, admiring what he sees, some of the great work. Currently leading 4 games to 1 as we kick across to the second court. Jerome Oconee serving closest to the camera, the captain of the Alexander Park State League team. Come off a good win last week against Troy Hargraves from Peppermint Grove. I think there might have been about a 27-year age gap between Jerome and Troy last week. Troy Hargraves, former Australian over 35s singles champion, represented Australia at the Oceania Championships. Terrific player. Big forehand. Luca Brown leaned in on that. You can see the weak second serve, just lacking some serious pace from Jerome. Comes on the back of the shoulder injury he's been carrying for the best part of 12, 18 months. Still a lot of work to do just to build that shoulder up, get the confidence back into it. Deep second serve, found his mark, overplaying the forehand Luca Brown from Cottesloe, furthest end of the court. Blue shirt, big kid, big game, hits the ball well. As we heard Will Hahn talk about him, air of confidence every time he steps on the court. early breaker serve, Luca Brown, off to a quick start against Jerome O'Connor, leading 1-0. Scotty Jones serving 4-1 against Ashwin Sharma. Of course, Ashwin, the brother of Astra, playing at the Australian Open on Monday. Looking forward to seeing how Astra fares. Former runner-up in the mixed doubles at the Australian Open only a few seasons ago with John Patrick Smith. Semi-finalist last year in the mixed doubles, I understand. Terrific athlete. Both Sharma siblings, terrific athletes. As made mention, Ashwin just starting to slowly recover from a wrist injury that hampered him. His left wrist seems to be back to full strength. Scotty Jones serving big down the middle. Pure striker of the ball, Scotty Jones. Times it so incredibly well. Another heavy serve down the tee. 5-1. Scotty Jones really quick out of the gates here against Ashwin Sharma. Match is only around about 15 minutes, 20 minutes old. And already Scotty finds himself up 5-1. Must know something about the weather coming through. Trying to get through this match quite quickly. Every match that's played and won, you get points for. If the match is rained out, then you split the actual premiership points. But the matches your team wins, you keep those points, which is 2 points for every match you win. Scotty Jones just putting the foot down, trying to get through this match. Good tennis IQ, Scotty Jones. Really knows and constructs points incredibly well. Doesn't just go out there and try to hit the cover off the ball. We use different spins. Use a slice, he'll hit the two-hander, he'll move forward, he'll change his serve. Smart player. Another terrific questions come through. Thank you, Zeus. When I was playing competitively, how do you handle opponents who made banned line calls repeatedly or displayed poor sportsmanship throughout a match? It's a very good question. Every men's and women's state league tie has a referee who's here to adjudicate the day's play. If there are any queries or concerns, you refer the matter up to the referee and they'll fundamentally make a judgment or enforce their will on their players to make sure that they're towing the line. Been some terrific blow-ups on the men's and women's state league courts over the many years. Beautiful play. Scotty Jones just made mention. Smart play. Chipping down the line, covering the net. Bad line calls, of course, with no linesman here and no central umpire, the umpire adjudicating the court other than the roving match referee, you have to call your own lines. At times, you will get the odd call that you don't agree with. Unfortunately, you've got to take your opponent's call. They call their side of the court, you call your side of the court. Don't always have to agree. I've seen players get a bad call and then straight away square up. Not the ideal situation. I've seen some arguments out there from continuing calls that opponents haven't agreed with. It does make for terrific entertainment. There's no question about that. But again, if you're unsure, you're not certain about some of the calls, you just call out the match referee and he'll guide the conversation and stand there and look. Although he tries to keep an eye across all the courts, if there is a problem court, a problem player, the referee can stand and watch to a degree and give warnings where need be. And there has been some terrific line calls throughout WA tennis over the many years. Tight calls, I should say. don't think there's that many playing in today's state league. I think everyone's fairly fair, but back in the 2000s and 90s and 80s, oh, my word, sheep stations on offering. Players used to see chalkers out and not in. So we switch across Luca Brown up against Jerome Iaconi. Luca off to an early and a quick start, leading 1 game to love. Nice early break against Jerome Iaconi. Tall, powerful kid. You can see a little bit of wind out there at the moment. It's picked up. The shirt just blowing around there. Sliding serve, just pushing that wide. Push that wide. You see that on camera. Definitely wide. Good call by Luca. Just spoke about calls. Jerome had a quick look, but quickly realised the ball was out. Might have to run a poll. Some of the best line calls in WA State League history. And when I say best, I mean tight. If you want to have your say, just put it through on live chat. Some of the names that you've seen, witnessed, a little bit loose on line calls. And we're speaking about line calls. This year's Australian Open, all the lines are being called by Hawkeye. So we have one central umpire and all the lines are covered by Hawkeye. No linesmen at this year's Australian Open for the very first time in the history of the game. Trialling the new Hawkeye technology. Maybe give us your thoughts about that. Do we want to see linesmen back? Or do you prefer the Hawkeye covering all the lines? My preference is to have the linesman back. There's no theatre. If you just have the electronics there, there's no theatre in the call, no theatre in the challenge, no theatre in the questioning of the linesmen, whether they can see or whether they can't. Been watching the lead-up tournaments to this year's Australian Open. There's been all Hawkeye every court. It's been quite clinical, quite sterile. No challenges, no arguments on line calls. Can you imagine if they had these and this technology during the John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors era? You think Johnny McEnroe would have turned out to be the player, the agitator that he was? Johnny, when he found himself down, frustrated with his play, he just pick on a linesman, pick on an umpire, just to fire himself up, put his opponent off. Beautiful play, smart play. Luca Brown taking the return of serve, moving forward. Beautiful low volley too, just forcing the lob error from Jerome Iaconi. He just flexes the neck, just getting himself loose. The wind certainly has picked up over the last 10, 15 minutes. As you can see, wind is sweeping across from right to left as you're watching the screen. If you're listening in, give us a like or a subscribe at Scotty's Media. Hopefully you're enjoying today's broadcast. Again, both boys just trading from the back of the court. Luca Brown with another breaker serve, leading 3 games to love. Really has skipped out of the blocks quickly against Jerome Iaconi. So we're watching Scotty Jones on the top court. Number 1 player for Cottesloe up against Ashwin Sharma, currently leading 6 games to 1. As we made mention, he probably knows something about the weather coming. He's trying to get through this match quite quickly to win 2 points for his team. Overplaying just the off forehand. Didn't get into position, Scotty, but you can see a very clean striker of the ball. A bit frustrated with himself, as you've heard. Might have picked that up courtside microphone. Coming back into shot right now. S. Jones written across the back of the blue shirt from Cottesloe. Beautiful serve, flat and wide, and the big fist bump, if you don't mind, looking back to his teammate, Adam Kahan and Willie Hahn. Adam and Will sitting to courtside, just willing their charger on.
On, man.
2.5 hours into this broadcast from Scotty's Media. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Keep you up to date with what's happening in the men's and women's state league over the ensuing summer, right through to the finals leading up to Easter. Very quick game out here between Scotty and Ashwin. A lot of long rallies. Another flat serve out to the backhand wing. Or missing the overhead smash. You can see that, just shaking the head. A little bit of wind played havoc with that overhead smash. As you can see, the wind has really started picking up. Probably hear it whistling through the mics, the courtside cameras. I think most players will agree. Happy to play in the heat. A little bit frustrating to play in the wind, particularly when it's this strong. Didn't affect that serve, but did in fact, as you see, Ashwin just thought the wind blew that returner serve out. On a normal warm day, lack of breeze days, that ball would have dropped in. Scotty Jones serving closer to the camera. Cottesloe Tennis Club. Favoured serve, flat and off to the backhand wing in that ad box. Went down the tee, missing that, just tapping the head, saying he's got to be a little bit smarter. Go back and watch Luca Brown serving, leading 3 games to love, 2 breaks of serve against Jerome O'Coney. Struggling all at sea, Jerome, captain of the Alexander Park State League team. Luca Brown, big kid, strong, as we heard Will Hahn, his teammate, talk about, has an air of confidence every time he steps onto the court. I'm seeing that right here in the early stages. Overplaying the backhand return, Jerome down 4 games to love in quick fashion. Jerome just asking Dan Downey, his teammate, to come out and sit with him. Needs a little bit of encouragement. Some talk that the rain's coming in. James Williams, the match referee, is heading out onto the court just to test what it's like out there in the open. Been sitting up here in the shelter, the pavilion here at Alexander Park Tennis Club. James just circling around the back of the court like a predator, just ready to jump on his kill. Beautiful play. Smart tennis, Jerome O'Coney. Good court coverage. Thank you for joining us, Claire. Loving the vision, she says. Well, we love you having the vision by Scotty's Media. Please, for all the members that are tuning in, stay home. Get onto Scotty's Media and just listen in. Watch the great coverage at the Men's and Women's State League across this summer of tennis. Jerome, a little bit of a come on there. Again, the skies are getting greyer and darker as every minute passes. Some great questions coming through. Keep your questions coming through. Part of the live chat here at Scotty's Media. Love answering your questions. Good serve. And we can hear the rain just falling ever so gently on top of the cameras. Of course, on grass course, any sort of moisture out there just really dramatically changes the play. Grass becomes very, very slippery. A little bit dangerous. So we're seeing James Williams. You might just catch a glimpse of James as he's wandering on the court. Hard to miss. Quite the figure of authority, James Williams. One of the great referees in the game of tennis throughout the WA ranks. Goes to the Australian Open, lead-up tournaments. Has been a linesman there for many, many years. He's got his own fan base, James Williams. I know during the Hopman Cup he had a lot of followers. One of the great characters of the umpire fraternity in WA. Unfortunately, we can't talk to many of the umpires. It'd be great to have a chat to some of the umpires, talk about their experiences. I did try to get one of the umpires on a few rounds ago, but I was dismissed. Watching Scotty Jones, watching Luca and Jerome O'Connor. Luca ready to serve, leading 4-1, 2 breaks of serve. Off to a quick start, opening set of their match. Big serve down the tee. Love the style of play, Luca. Smooth striker of the ball, very keen. Prepares nice and early, only a young fella. A little bit slippery underfoot there, as you can see by Luca, just showing his front foot sliding. Love 30, Luca, still battling with the elements out there. Just threw his hands up in disgust. Didn't really get down to that forehand. Stood too upright, didn't bend the knees. Scotty Jones. Still serving. It's been a long game in the early stages of the opening set. And drop serve, Scotty Jones. Ashwin Sharma starting to find his range here early stages of the second set. Beautifully played point, Luca Brown. Well constructed, just pushing Jerome side to side, covering the net, putting the overhead away. Great questions coming through. Part of Scotty's media. Thank you. Beautiful hands. Luca Brown. The questions coming through. Would the very best state league player win a game against a top 10 player? Well, interesting question, Zeus. Matty Ebden, #1 player for Alexander Park. Certainly would push the very best players in the world. I know that he's had wins against Dominic Thiem, Jürgen Meltzer, when Jürgen was #11 in the world. Big serve, Luca Brown. Power from that young body. Just opening up the backhand wing of Jerome O'Connor. You know, we've had some tremendous players playing WA State League over the many years. David Cully, Mark Elawadis, obviously the Matthew Ebdens. You can see Scotty Jones, Darren, the Big D Patton, Roger Grant, Barry Tongley, Rob Casey, Tony Luttrell, Kurt Robinson, Dean Dancy, Neil Prickett. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I can say on any given day, players can certainly take it up to their more fancied opponents. Probably heard me tell this tale many times. Remember the Belgium Davis Cup team coming out to Australia back in 1991. They were playing Australia, being led by Wally Masur and Todd Woodbridge and Richard Fromberg. Neil Fraser was the coach and captain at that stage for the Australian Davis Cup team. And the Belgium Davis Cup team had their #1 player, Bart Weiss, #60 in the world, Eduardo Masso, Libor Pimic, all situated in the top 50 in singles or doubles. And Philip de Wolf, who later went on and made a semi-final at the French Open. The Belgium Davis Cup team played a lead-up tournament, the Fremantle Championships, leading up to the Davis Cup tie back in 1991, just to give them a bit of practice on the grass course. The media and everyone expected the Belgian Davis Cup team to absolutely dominate that tournament. But I can tell you, Bart Weiss, number 61 in the world, number 1 seed, was bundled out second round by one of the state grade players. I know Libor Pimic was beaten by a state grade player from WA. Philip de Wolf was beaten by a state grade player from WA. So the 3 of their 4 team in the Belgium Davis Cup side were beaten by local WA players. Eduardo Masso went on to win the tournament. But that just shows you, local WA players on grass against some of the best players in the world who aren't familiar with playing on grass.
Nice, mate.
Players certainly can rise to all occasions, and on that occasion, the WA State League fraternity had a win against the Belgian Davis Cup team. It's a bit like an Indian touring side coming out here and losing to WA Sheffield Shield side. So to answer your questions, this is no question. I think players, particularly inside the top 300 or 400 in the world, 500 potentially, everyone hits the ball the same. It's just opportunities, sliding door moments. Remember Darren played Australian indoors, Darren Patton, one of the best state league players here back in the late 80s and 90s, early 2000s. He played against Slobodan Zivinovic, who was a former top 10 player. And first round of the Australian indoors, televised live on Channel 10. Darren got the very first set against Slobodan. And unfortunately went down in 3 sets, but had Slobodan on the ropes. So certainly has made mention on any given day. So we switch across to the top court. Ashwin Sharma currently leading 1 game to love. Started the second set with a break. Scotty Jones won the first set, 6 games to 1. Big serve, flat and wide, out call. Wind is really starting to move that ball around. Both players taking their time, not trying to overplay. On that occasion, deep chip backhand, just caught Ashwin on the back foot. Sort of propped on him, didn't have a real clean hit at the ball. The wind is really starting to play a part in both of these matches. You heard courtside Luca Brown just pumping the air and a big come on as he closes that first set out 6 games to 1 in very quick fashion against Jerome O'Connor. Scotty Jones broke back to level the second set, 1 game all after winning the first set 6 games to 1. So we just might just catch a glimpse of James Williams heading out onto the court, just asking both players that there is rain coming. Looks like the boys are having to come off the court. Certainly spots of rain around. A little bit of wind. Very dark overhead. Just asking the players, James Williams, the match referee, asking the players just to grab the balls, wait a moment. So we skip across and watch the top court. James Williams out there controlling play, just letting Luca know he's holding up play for the time being. Some of the messages coming forward asking who the players were that defeated the Belgium Davis Cup team. Well, without beating my own chest, it was I who beat Bart Weiss. Darren Patton beat Libor Pimic. David Kelly defeated Philip de Wolf in that lead up to the Australian Open tie between Australia and Belgium. It was played at Kings Park that particular year, 1991. Still got memorabilia there. hanging in the clubhouse of the Royal Kings Park Tennis Club. That tie between Belgium and Australia. Australia went on to win that Davis Cup tie.
No, it's actually like that last point.
James Williams out there directing both players, Ashwin and Scott, just to cool your jets. A couple of minutes. Just going to keep everyone off court till the rain passes. Wait a few more moments.
Jones, are you stopping?
James has instructed all players just to step off court because there is a little bit of rain around. We can see the rain dropping here, right next to the commentary booth. No question about that. Both players have to come off for all safety. Watching Basil out there, the Alexander Park team manager, just testing the courts. Himself just seeing how slippery the courts are. Might just take this time to give you an update of all the scores being played at the Men's and Women's State League today. As we spoke to Chanel O'Coney earlier about the fortunes of Royal Kings Park Women's State League. It's been called off. Today's match, Alexander Park and Cottesloe, Dalkeith and Hensman Park. Right now, Hensman Park in the Men's State League currently leading 2-1. Scotty Webster defeated Zach Exteen 6-3, 6-4. Ben Webster went down to Reece Johnson 11-9 in a super tiebreak in what would have been an exciting conclusion to that match. Josiah Tyson from Dalkeith losing to Matthew Burton, who's on a real tear this year, 6-3, 6-4. And Ollie Henderson leading by a set and 4-3 in that match against Hensman Park. So Ollie Henderson only moments away from probably squaring the ledger for Dalkeith to go 2 rubbers apiece. The other match, as I made mention, Peppermint Grove in the men's and UWA in the men's, unfortunately aren't playing today. They were meant to play Friday evening. Because of the COVID restrictions, they called that match off and looking to reschedule. And if we go across to the Women's State League matches being played at the moment, Hensman Park currently leading 3-1 against Cottesloe. Lauren Nicolescu defeated Lily Fairclough in straight sets. Anya Dokic from Hensman Park defeated Zeng from Cottesloe 6-3, 6-3. Kenja Wojcicki, hopefully I pronounced that right, against Lara Tovic, won that 6-1, 6-4. And Ella Nurkic defeated Helena Djokanovic 6-2, 6-1. The matches on the doubles at the moment. We've got Lily Fairclough and Hayley Burton leading Lara Tovic and Helena Djokanovic 6-1, 5-2. Match is still ongoing at this stage. However, that being said, matches have been postponed here at Alexander Park Tennis Club due to the rain. A few droplets out there making the courts quite unsteady, quite unsafe. James Williams, the match referee, has demanded and ordered all players off court until further notice. Unfortunately, that potentially might be the last of today's play. The sky, as we can see here on the camera, as we're pointing towards some of the spectators here at Alexander Park Tennis Club, looks a little grey. The wind has picked up over the best part of the last 45 minutes, blowing those clouds closer to Alexander Park. Hopefully you enjoyed today's broadcast, brought to you by Scotty's Media. My name is Brett Patton, part of the Scotty's Media and Court Talk commentary team. The challenge we have here on grass courts, once the rain comes, it does make the courts very, very slippery. It's very hard to get back out on court. I think if there's an hour postponement, you call the day off. That or agreement by both captains of the WA, the State League men's and women's teams. If the captains agreed, call the day off. That's what they'll do. You see the Astra Shaman just with his back to us. James Williams there in the blue with the official behind his, you can see him with the face mask on. Quite an imposing figure. One of the real journeymans in the officialdom world, not only here in WA, but certainly across the country, has been visiting and participating and refereeing a lot of the Australian Opens, Hopman Cups over many, many years. James Williams. You can see him walking closest and towards the camera there. See Kerry Wagner was centre of the screen, just looking to put her mask on. One of the real supporters of the Men's State League competition, part of the State League committee, president of Alexander Park Tennis Club. Kerry Wagner just having a quick chat to Scotty Walsh, and they hug. Oh, nothing like a little bit of love on camera. Scotty Walsh, some of the finest videographers in the business. Scotty Walsh's media. I suspect that today might be called off due to this inclement weather that we're finding. It's great to see the first 2.5, nearly 3 hours of play out here. Unfortunately, we may not get to the conclusion of the match. And if that being the case, the matches that have been played and completed, those points stand. And if the day is called off and there's no result, then the premiership points are split down the middle. When a team wins a tie for the day, they get 8 premiership points. Every match they win, they get 2 points, to a total of 20 points accumulated across the day. So if you win 6 love, you get the premiership points and you get all the victory points for the matches you've played. Hopefully enjoying some of these footages, people coming and going, seeing what happens behind the camera. Alexander Park Tennis Club, one of the friendly clubs in WA tennis. As you can see there, Kerry Wagner just enjoying a little Chardonnay as she abides by the protocols there. Mask on when talking, mask off when sipping. Mask back on again to talk. We might just have a bit of a quick check of the radar of the bomb. I suspect that there is a little bit of rain creeping right across, heading towards Alexander Park in the leafy suburb of Manoora. Just having a look around the ground so I can see a little bit of moisture still on the grounds and still falling here. Doesn't seem to be too many breaks in amongst the clouds as I cast an eye around here from my commentary position. Anyway, we'll bring you more information as it comes to play. We'll keep the cameras live. My name is Brett Patton, part of the Scotty's Media and Court Talk commentary team. We'll be back with you very shortly. Enjoy the pictures.
Making friends, becoming like well acquainted with the grounds itself. I had a massive campus, so actually trying to find my way around was pretty tough for like the first 3 weeks. But yeah, that's definitely I made friends easy, which is a big part of it. But yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah, for sure. You need to do it. All right. See you guys. Yeah, catch you later. Enjoy, guys. Thank you. You don't remember us coming up for a change? Well, I didn't finish, but I did double the colors.
Unfortunately. Yeah, that's what he's down because to see what was going on. Yeah, so basically they can say once you get up I mean, I guess it doesn't really so stopping
Yeah, Scotty Jones has joined us here at the commentary position here at Alexander Park and Cottesloe. Just said he'd love to still be out there. I mean, conditions here aren't ideal, obviously. A little bit of moisture around. How's it impacted certainly the play in the last 25 minutes? You got out of the blocks really quickly, leading 6 games to 1. I thought this will be done and dusted in about 25 minutes, but the wind has sort of swirled a bit and the rain's sort of made play a little bit awkward out there.
Yeah, it has. I mean, the wind's, this way, that way. One end you think you're playing down breeze, and then you go at the other end thinking to play into the breeze, then wind switch again. But, courts are slightly damp. Maybe they're playing a bit low because of that, low and skiddy. I mean, I'm all for that. Helps my game a lot. Probably helping me out today, but still playing pretty well considering.
You are playing well. I mean, I'm sure the viewers are actually enjoying your style of play. I mean, you're very creative. You made mention you got a high IQ in tennis. I mean, you're very crafty out there. You see a ball and you play the merits of the ball. You don't try to sit back and try to hit the ball as hard as you can. You use your spins. You use the court locations really, really well. I mean, is that the way that, I mean, you're not the biggest of guys, but so you want to use all those extra elements of your game to, get over the line, and you've been successful in that, certainly here in WA over the last, 3 or 4 months. So is that how you play your match? It's all about on merit and court craft?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you mentioned, when I was really young, 10, 11, I was so small, I'm not big now, but I was so small back then that I had to kind of figure out ways to get it past guys because I just couldn't hit it past them. Yeah. So I guess as I got older, I just kept having to really think about the game, the angles, the length and the spins and whatnot. I guess it's just transitioned into my game now.
Andrew Roberts, has he played a big part? He's over at the Australian Academy, the High Performance Academy in Queensland. Now, he was a big part of your development. I understand you were part of the Australian, or certainly the WA squads for many, many years of high performance. What element, I guess, or what skills, or what did he teach you from a young age that you've implemented and really taken on to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great coach, mentor to me for a long time, 10, 11 years, like you said. And he has a great tennis mind as well, and that probably helped me out a lot with developing that higher IQ kind of style of tennis. He was great for me. He was a great relationship coach as well for me. So that was really awesome. Like you said, he's over at the High Performance Academy now. It just shows how good a coach he is, and he helped me a hell of a lot.
And of course, in his own right, he was a terrific player as well. You and I played alongside him, and were lucky enough to get on his coattails. Well, I was lucky enough to get on you and his coattails to win a state league there at Cottesloe. I mean, shaping up pretty nicely. I mean, I think you started off the season pretty slowly by your own admissions, and had a chat to Will Hunt about the slowness of the season. You've really hit your straps now. You're going to get a couple more matches regular season into the finals. It's fair to say that you put yourself in pretty good contention to get a home final firstly and potentially win another title for Cottesloe.
Yeah, like you said, started slow. Probably is a bit short on matches as well. Hadn't played on grass for a long time, although it is my favourite surface. So, like you said, now I'm getting that match practice under my belt, and all the team is just playing so well as well. Just makes it easy for me, especially playing second. Guys come out there, get the job done, and I can kind of freewheel out there.
Do you enjoy playing second then? I mean, do you like to be able to sit back and support your players and then sort of seeing the feel, get a sense of the court and the speed, and then coming out and playing?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to kind of come into the match and kind of know where we sit and what I need to do. I love that, and I love getting out there and talking to the guys. I love the analytical side of the game, we'll say. So I love, I was out there with Adzi today and stuff like that. Like you said, get a feel for the court, the wind conditions, and obviously help the guys out and then focus on myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what are we going to do post the State League season this year? I know you and I had a chat a couple of weeks ago at the State Tennis Centre about aspirationally you're thinking about going back and doing your Masters back in the States, or looking to maybe go into some coaching for that time, but then take another step into the pros?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously my plan post-graduation last May, I was going to go out and try to play futures and whatnot, and obviously that got shot down real quick. But yeah, that's the goal. But maybe just for the next 12, 18 months, maybe while things get back going, maybe if I can go back and maybe focus on the post-tennis career, with the coaching side, with the Masters as well. I think that can really help me, as well as keeping my game up and try to get myself really ready to have a big crack when everything's back up and ready to go.
No doubt about that. And certainly, I think the transition into coaching from playing would be an easy one. Again, you're a very smart player on the court, and that can't be said of a lot of players, Being able to understand the game analytically and be able to put it into practice is something you do really well. So I think that transition into coaching, and I can see you as you're a born coach, so to speak. Now let's talk about some of your playing mates. You got big Luca Brown. We had a chat to Will Hahn about Luca. Gee, he's been impressive out here. I mean, he's got out of the blocks really quickly against Jerome O'Coney, winning that first set, bit like you did, 6-1. What can you tell us about Luca?
He's a very chill, very relaxed man. Loves to surf. He'll tell you he'll be out there 4 hours a day if he could. Probably has been. But yeah, he hits the ball as good as anyone, I think. Especially his backhand, when he gets to lean on it, he can just free wheeling kind of player. Really laid back attitude. So he just ball strikes all day.
Yeah.
Serves well, returns unbelievable. So, I mean, when he gets hot like he was today, he's a force, yeah.
We're getting a lot of questions come through, and one of the questions from your old mate, Downey Bashar, is about how quick Willie Hahn was serving. But also, he was talking about the hours that State League players put onto court during the week leading up to matches. I mean, what does your team do? Is it a regular Thursday night training session? How many hours are you doing outside of the team training session? What does your rhythm look like?
Yeah, well, first of all, on Will, he's serving absolute bombs at the moment, and the way he gets the serve to move is just unbelievable, and that's a huge reason why his form is so good right now. In terms of court time, I mean, we're probably hitting twice a week as a team. I know me and a couple of younger boys, maybe Adam and Will, go Thursday morning, and then again with the whole tennis club Thursday night, maybe a Tuesday as well. Yeah, outside of that, myself, I'm putting upwards of 15 hours on court a week.
Right.
Maybe Timmy Wood a little less, out cutting the fish and chips all day. But, yeah, a lot of the guys are probably similar, maybe a bit less because they do a bit more coaching than I do. But, yeah.
What can you tell us about Adam Kahan? Someone, a player certainly I'm not familiar with, and left-hander. He started his match against Alex Downey really, really strongly, broke early and just really tightened up. There was some looseness and probably some technical errors in his game, particularly off that forehand wing, snatching at the serve a little bit. But what can you tell the listeners a little bit about Adam?
Yeah, well, I think he's pretty new to State League, like you were saying. And a lot of the time he's comes out the blocks really well, he's a really good starter. And I think a lot of the times he can start to overthink things. But when he keeps it really simple and just trusts his game, he can play really good.
Yeah.
Good hands, good craft, good coming forward kind of guy, and can hit the ball well. Lefty, can spin it well, but he's just got to back himself a bit more, in my opinion. And once he gets more settled, I think he can be a really good player.
Yeah. Is he in your top four, or was Timmy Fish and Chips Woods, would he slide in ahead against maybe Adam?
Not sure. I think it's probably 50-50 at the moment. So it's kind of just a week in, week out, as well as trying to help out our Div 1 team, and they're looking pretty good as well. So either of them during the week, they kind of talk and see who's going to fit in, and it's